Welcome to Epilogue Podcast, the show where we discuss some stuff that happened on a different show ages ago which nobody really cares about anymore.
Hi, I'm Portponky.
And I'm LeBloc.
Today, we're discussing Farscape, Season 2, Episode 9, Out of Their Minds. The crew switch bodies repeatedly whilst being attacked by a weird alien ship full of bird people. Okay, so it's a classic sci-fi plot. What do you think of Farscape's interpretation of this idea?
I loved it. I had a lot of fun. Wait, you were going to say more?
It's just a really long way of asking how you felt about the episode because I'm trying to mix up our episode openings. You liked it? You loved it, you said?
I loved it, yeah.
Go on.
A big part of that is that this is a great showcase for, I'm probably going to say her name wrong, Gigi Edgley?
Gigi. Oh, yeah.
She is fantastic here. And it's not just her, but she really embodies the characters that enter her body. That's stupid. She really finds the essence of the characters that end up in her body more than the other cast members. Not that they did a shabby job.
They all did well. The only one I thought wasn't great was Rigel.
Wait. Oh, damn.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say Dargo as Chiana.
That was a bit...
It's exaggerated for laughs, but then it's so exaggerated that it's way off.
It's a bit heavy, that one. For me, the one that stole the day was John as Rigel.
I liked John as Rigel when he was actually John to make Aaron worried.
So when I say John as Rigel, I mean Ben Browder doing Rigel.
Yeah, the voice is really good.
It's got it down. It's really strange because I find the first bit where they swap, it's almost verging on sort of cringeworthy, and all the characters doing imitations of each other. I could so easily see that being a big cringy mess, but somehow they just pulled it together. So I find this one very entertaining, even after having seen it a bunch of times. It still makes me laugh, especially when the guy's sick and he's like, "Oh, I just peed in the maintenance bay." Oh god, that slays me. The look on Aaron Claudia Black's face when Rigel gets John's knob caught in the zipper.
Oh.
Expression on her face was so perfect.
That made me flinch. And I know I'm watching a show that involves a man who's possessed by a puppet, basically.
Yeah.
I really like that this episode didn't shy away from that stuff, the vulgar and naughty stuff, because as it's pointed out in the episode, you would explore. You would never get this chance again. You would think, wow, this body's weird. Let me see what's going on here. And then you don't know how to do basic things, like go to the bathroom.
Yeah, and if this was Star Trek, that would not have even been raised.
Exactly.
As a point. But if it really happened, come on.
I really enjoyed that John even pointed out, hey, at least I waited a couple of hours for Arns. I don't like that Rigel Rigel inside John could walk so well because he's always in his little chair floating. I know he can walk, but he didn't complain.
He could have just been staggering around the whole episode, but would that have been better? He was flopping all over the place at first.
I just got a visual of John floating around in the chair. And how funny that would be.
That would be good. But we've already seen that the chair is not strong enough to carry him.
Well, carry both.
Oh,
Maybe Rigel is the difference.
if anything, it would be harder for the characters with regular legs, or human length legs, I should say. I don't want to be discriminatory towards a puppet, to become a little frog beast.
I did like that Pilot couldn't walk as Gianna.
Pilot was amazingly expressive as Dargo. Didn't you think? He was much more kind of frowny and annoyed looking. I mean, Rigel didn't come off as any particular character.
No, I could never tell. I always had to look at the little badge.
Yeah. And maybe that's partially due to the fact that his face is very kind of fixed. So it's impressive that Pilot did. Yeah, Rigel's inflexibility was probably the weak point in the whole imitation game thing.
I agree.
It didn't really detract from the episode because it just seemed like whoever was Rigel was really depressed to be Rigel. Which makes sense.
You're small and no one pays attention to you.
Yeah, they got that in at the end. That was really satisfying. You've said from the start he's the secret hero.
He is. But yes, Pilot surprisingly differentiated between the different characters.
The voice actor for Pilot did a really good impression of Dargo.
He did. He's very annoyed and stern. And then as Chiana, he was very unsure of himself. It was good because she would be worried about being in this vital position. She doesn't think highly of her skills.
For an episode that was quite gimmicky and really a lot of sort of humor, comedy-based stuff, it actually reveals a lot about the characters.
I enjoyed the exchange between Dargo and Pilot the most about memories and having experienced the galaxy versus only knowing your immediate family.
For two characters sitting in a room in an otherwise quite exciting episode with a space battle going on, they did a lot there. Also, Chiana seizing out was disturbing. Again, Gigi Edgley seems to be able to seize out. It's really convincing. Maybe it's just because of the foaming stuff, but
she's really good at being in peril in terrible situations.
She's really good at contorting her body into weird, like, configurations. I don't know what I mean by that, but
no, it's true. I've commented before on her body language and how subtle but effective it is, and that she has really good body awareness. So that doesn't surprise me that it extends to more exaggerated displays.
She's like some sort of body language chameleon. She could just slip into other people's body language.
She can, though.
Yeah, she can. I'm glad you understand. Maybe the people listening to this will be confused. It makes sense to me, though.
I became more aware of it because of this episode. Not only seeing her take over these other characters, but then seeing Dargo trying to do Chiana and not getting it right, and how there's more nuance to it.
He kind of had the whole weird stance thing, but I don't know if he physically could do it. Because he's a big guy. He's tall.
Right.
And
that's part of
quite beefy as well. And he's probably got a fair weight of makeup and prosthetics on him. So
it's good for a laugh.
Yeah. Chiana and Rigel as Dargo and John had what could be considered a homosexual moment. Not really. In a physical sense, perhaps.
I really like that scene.
It was good. It was well acted, and they didn't make a big kind of sort of gay fuss.
Yeah, there's no panic about it. John isn't aware this is happening to his body, but then there's still nothing to indicate the writers think the joke is, haha, males are touching each other.
Rigel's response, Rigel as John's response, that he wants his body back because the only thing that keeps him going is that he wants to reclaim his throne. That was pretty cutting. There's a lot of character stuff in this that was pretty deep. I would expect an episode with this kind of tone, even though there's sort of like people seizing out and peril, but it's Farscape, so they never really have a good day. But I would have expected this episode to be a lot lighter and sort of fluffier in terms of character stuff. But no, they went the whole hog.
Which is what we want from Farscape. This is Farscape at its best.
Oh, for sure. I think a lot of the comedy works is because it's quite real. It's not just comedy for the sake of comedy. They're in a crazy situation and things are happening that are quite funny.
I was really worried in the beginning. I thought they better make good with this premise because Freaky Friday has been done so many times. But they delivered.
If anything, that's more impressive.
Yeah, I went in not expecting a good episode.
Yeah, before the titles, it's like, oh, okay, a body swap episode. Let's see where they go with this. Well, they went everywhere with it.
I also like the bird aliens.
Yes, we should talk about that because my notes for this episode are a complete mess. Because it's so hard to say, like, oh, it's Pilot as Chiana talking to Dargo as Pilot. So, yeah, Zan is on the enemy ship. Okay, I like how this episode starts and everything is already set up.
Remind me how it starts.
John's waking up. I think he's putting his shoes on. They're trying to get the shield up, and Zan's already on the ship trying to negotiate with the bird dudes.
She is?
Hallucians. Yeah, John says Zan's on their ship.
Ah, nice. Yes.
There's no, oh, we should go over and talk to them. No, get rid of all that stuff. You can fill it in your head. You don't need to know.
Right, that's all a waste of time.
It's absolutely a waste of time. And it's gone. They don't put it in the episode because it's not needed. It doesn't add anything. So Zan's with the bird people, Hallucians. Did they remind you of anyone?
No.
Have you seen the movie Dark Crystal?
Yeah, but that still doesn't remind me of anything.
I guess you saw it a while back.
Yeah, that was high school.
Okay. It's over 50 years ago.
Yep.
So, in Dark Crystal, the bad guys are called the Skeksis, and they're kind of bird creatures.
They just borrowed these guys?
They didn't. They were going to make some bird aliens, and they weren't sure if they were going to make a reference to Dark Crystal, but then the people working on the puppetry just sort of made them look like Dark Crystal. It's because it's Jim Henson. Dark Crystal was Jim Henson. Farscape is Jim Henson.
Oh, okay.
So it resembles the Skeksis from Dark Crystal. Not exactly, but fairly close.
Close enough that you could draw comparisons.
Yeah. If you Google Skeksis, you'll see what I mean.
This feels like a Google trap.
They're just like bird people. So what do you think of the bird people?
I liked that one of them had labored breathing. She would have to breathe in sharply after every line or so. I kind of wish they all did that, but maybe that would annoy me. I don't know. I like that at least she was doing it.
But surely you like it because it's an example of differentiation where maybe one of them has a breathing problem and it's not a plot thing. She just happens to have a breathing problem.
I like that it's not a plot thing. I think that's it. It's just, hey, why not? She has a breathing problem. But I could see all of them having breathing problems because of the structure of their face. Maybe it makes it difficult to breathe. I don't know. That doesn't make sense evolutionarily.
Yes, certainly an animal that's constantly choking is not likely to reproduce as well as one that isn't.
But then I thought maybe it's a species new to space, and then not being on its home planet makes it hard to breathe. I was making up all this stuff that I didn't need to. It was fine how they did it. I like that she had trouble breathing, which is
You
weird.
were really into the bird creatures. They were really visually striking.
Yeah, it's obviously not just a dude with some makeup on his face. There's puppetry going on, and I like what happened in there, how Zan instigated a mutiny, how brutal the murder was.
For a priest, she isn't always so priestly. Also, she ripped her hand out of the thing.
That was weird.
I love how Zan just never runs out of weird things she can do. She's just really different. I've lost count of how many unique abilities she's shown.
I'm sure there will be more.
Oh, probably.
Oh, and I liked when the one bird guy vomited and it looked like red gelatin. Made me hungry.
You want to see vomit? Nobody wants to see vomit.
No, it was good. They always make vomit disgusting.
The special effect where it sort of crawls up the piping is obviously done by dripping it down, upside down, with the camera upside down.
I still liked it, though.
I still liked it. I don't know why it's such a cheap and obvious effect, but it's satisfying to watch, and it just feels kind of good.
Well, it's in camera, and I always appreciate in camera stuff versus CGI, and it's unnatural to look at.
Yeah.
So that's fun in itself.
It would be really nice if they had a shot of one of the characters looking at it, like close up, so they had to hoist the actor upside down.
Oh, that would be so good.
Not because it would be particularly clever or anything, I just appreciate the effort.
Yeah.
It seems that the crew were a lot more jubilant and comfortable with each other at the end of the episode.
There's no more mystery about the bikini regions.
I don't know if people would be that cool with that.
Depends who took over my body. I'm not cool with Rigel sticking his hand places he shouldn't go. Or my hand, I guess.
Yeah. Why you gotta pick on Rigel?
Because he's disgusting.
What, in a personality way?
No, in a physical way.
Okay.
He may be the secret hero, but he's still gross.
I would have accepted it in personality ways as well, because he has serious personality problems.
He's pretty much the only one I wouldn't want to take over my body.
Okay. You're very insistent about this.
Well, Dargo might get me all banged up because he would overestimate my physical capabilities.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
But you'd recover. I mean, I almost wouldn't care that much if someone took over my body. Like, they're not going to wreck it. They'll be wrecking themselves. Ah, my body's already wrecked. Experiencing someone else's body, I think that'd be worth it for anyone to take my body for a bit so I could experience someone else's body. I mean, it's like almost a philosophical question. All this rubbish about do you see colors the same, or
oh yeah,
what's like? That's something that you could have even breached in this episode. John could have said, "Whoa, my eyes really do suck."
Oh, that would be a good line, because I'm guessing he has the worst eyes.
Crackers Don't Matter. They raised
this.
He couldn't even see the writing.
That would have been good. One line acknowledging that.
I don't know where they fit it in. The episode was like packed with stuff.
Yeah, no slow-mo to pad out the runtime.
So my stance on body swapping is I'm cool with it. Your stance is as long as they're not gross.
Well, I would switch with Rigel in a limited time frame.
Well, yeah.
Well,
permanent switches, well...
Well, not even permanent, but I wouldn't want Rigel to have my body for a month.
Yeah, well, no, we're not discussing long-term loans, just, a couple hours.
Oh, yeah, a couple hours I'll switch with Rigel. He's limited in the damage he can do in a couple arms.
He's not... Why do you think he's gonna, chop his limbs off or something?
What if he gets me majorly in debt and then someone comes to collect that debt? I don't have it. Get my legs broken.
He could get you in debt even without your body. Don't think he wouldn't steal your information and get you massively in debt.
Sure, but it would be much easier with my body. Also, he could access my phone and then ruin all of my relationships.
Oh, he would steal it. You're underestimating Rigel's capabilities. He could ruin your life without having your body.
That's true. Okay, I'll switch with Rigel. As long as there's that cool body switching noise that plays during this episode.
It's like a hook. So you're aware that the same thing is happening as what happened before.
Yes, but it also sounds cool.
Yeah, it's good that they didn't use a klaxon or something.
They could have just clapped. You switched.
Random round of applause whilst they switch bodies. Do you have a quote from this show which you would like to share?
I really enjoyed being inside your body.
It descends into a rom-com for that scene, but they don't shy away from it. Dargo is horrible at being romantic.
He's horrible in the best way. I love watching him strain to be romantic and say something profound. And then he ends up with that.
These giant warrior alien types often they don't do sensitive very well. But the thing is, Dargo does do sensitive. He's not very good at it, but he actually is fine with doing it, which I think is kind of adorable. It makes him a bit less one-dimensional.
Yeah, that would be tiring if he just rejected all situations in which people express emotion.
Yeah, bottle up all feelings and pout a lot.
Yeah, we've seen that.
Chiara also took his lines about enjoying her body. She took them in quite good faith. She didn't say, what the hell?
She knows him well enough to know what he was going for.
I don't even know what he's going for, to be honest.
She's a nice person to be around, including inside.
Yeah.
I just pulled a Dargo.
Yes. Let's move on to the next episode, which I need to say the name of.
I believe you can do it.
The reason is, on some of the DVDs, the episode sequence is randomly changed, so that this episode is put after the next few. And the episode is called My Three Crichtons.
I bet Crichton gets cloned.
Oh, yes? And then what happens?
Then they high five.
But if he just gets cloned, that would be My Two Crichtons, wouldn't it?
I didn't say they stopped at one clone.
Are you going to say that they'll stop at 2?
Yeah, the machine breaks.
Okay. Let's see if you're right.